It was 3:17 a.m. when a DM appeared in my inbox, and it knew exactly how I die. I froze, thumb hovering over the screen, unable to believe what I was reading. The words were simple, almost clinical, but the precision was horrifying. You will not see next Friday. Do not try to change it. I blinked, convinced it was some sick joke, a random bot spamming nonsense like the hundreds I'd scrolled past before. But there was something specific about it. Something that hit too close to home. I had spent hours scrolling through late-night Twitter threads, laughing at memes, arguing with strangers, mindlessly tagging friends. This felt different. Alive. Watching. I wasn't alone in my room, though it felt like I was. And as I stared at the screen, my heart hammering, I remembered the whispers on forums, people claiming they'd received messages predicting tragedies, dismissing them as glitches or pranks. Until it happened. Something in me told me I couldn't ignore this DM. Not like the others, not like I wanted to. My fingers trembled as I tapped the notification, the message glowing against the darkness of my room. The moment felt infinite, like the entire world had slowed down, waiting for me to decide, scroll away and pretend it never existed, or confront what I had just discovered. I couldn't. I had to know. I've always been a night owl, the kind of person who finds comfort in the quiet hum of my laptop while the rest of the world sleeps. Twitter was my habitat, my little corner of endless memes, obscure threads, and half-serious debates. I'd scroll for hours, liking posts, replying to friends, sometimes joining random conversations that didn't matter to anyone but me. My notifications buzzed endlessly, but I didn't mind. I liked the noise, the illusion of being connected. My friends knew me as the one who would always reply at 2 a.m. with a sarcastic comment or a ridiculous gif. There was Jamie, who constantly sent me cryptic links, and Max, who had a knack for tagging me in weird, barely funny posts. I'd joke with them, if I disappeared tomorrow, blame Twitter. We laughed about conspiracies and creepypastas, half-heartedly, but those were just jokes, or at least I told myself they were. I kept my routine precise. A cup of coffee or energy drink on my desk, the glow of the screen lighting my face in the dark, my headphones drowning out the quiet of my apartment. Some nights, I'd venture into strange corners of the internet, clicking on threads that others called forbidden, or cursed. Most of the time, nothing happened. A few times, I felt uneasy for no reason, an unexplainable chill down my spine. But that was it, a shiver, a passing thought. Until tonight. Scrolling through my feed, I noticed a new follower I didn't recognize. Their handle was random, letters and numbers that meant nothing, but their profile picture was oddly familiar, like I'd seen it before in some vague memory I couldn't place. I hesitated, a small knot of unease forming in my stomach. And then, the DM arrived. The first message, the one that didn't belong to the normal rhythm of notifications. Something about it felt deliberate. Intentional. And that's when curiosity, that dangerous curiosity that had always defined my late-night browsing, made me click. My thumb hovered over the notification, the little blue dot glowing like a warning. I told myself it was probably a glitch or some bot account trying to scare me for attention. But when I opened it, the words made my stomach drop. I know where you'll be next Thursday. Don't ignore this. At first, I laughed nervously, shaking my head. Okay, weird spam, I muttered, scrolling down to see if there was more. There was. Line after line, each one unnervingly specific. Details about my apartment, the exact number of steps from my door to my desk, even the playlist I'd left running earlier. Things that no one should have known. I stared at the screen, disbelief warring with dread. My notifications continued to pop up. Tweets, replies, retweets, but they felt distant now, like I was observing them through some fog. Everything familiar suddenly seemed fragile, almost irrelevant. I couldn't shake the feeling that this message wasn't random, that it wasn't harmless. And as I read the last line again, it dug into my chest. You can't run from this. Others have tried, but they didn't see it coming. The casual online world I knew, the memes, the jokes, the scrolling until my eyes hurt, felt like it belonged to someone else. I felt exposed, watched. And the thought that this might be part of a pattern, a network of warnings nobody heeded until it was too late, made my fingers tremble over the keyboard. I debated ignoring it, trying to convince myself that it was absurd. But curiosity, that same dangerous curiosity that had always pulled me into dark corners of the internet, pushed me forward. I had to know who, or what, was behind this. And that decision, I would later realize, was the first step into something I couldn't escape. I thought it was a prank at first. Maybe some bored teenager had hacked a bot to send random, eerie messages. That explanation made sense, until the account started tagging me in impossible ways. I'd scroll through my feed, laugh at a meme, and suddenly there it was again, a notification blinking insistently, the same random handle, appearing everywhere I went online. It wasn't just a DM anymore. It had found me. I checked the profile obsessively. No posts, no followers except me, no indication of who, or what, was behind it. Every attempt to block or report the account failed. The button would freeze mid-tap, or the profile would vanish and reappear minutes later as if it had never left. I started documenting every interaction, every message, screenshotting them before they could disappear. My logical mind screamed that it had to be a technical glitch, some cruel coincidence, but even as I rationalized, I felt the shadow of something impossible brushing against reality. My friends tried to help, suggesting it was just a bot or some creepy viral trend. Jamie joked that it might be a hacker trying to mess with my sleep schedule. Max sent me an article about cursed Twitter accounts that vanish once you investigate too deeply. I wanted to laugh at them, I wanted to cling to reason, but a chill ran down my spine whenever I glanced at my notifications. Every new like, every retweet, felt like a heartbeat counting down. And then the anomalies escalated. Links embedded in harmless tweets redirected me to blank pages with strange codes. Images flickered briefly, showing glimpses of my apartment that couldn't have been taken by anyone. I convinced myself it was all coincidence, a combination of paranoia and late-night scrolling, but deep down, I knew the patterns were too precise. It was around 2 a.m. when the second DM arrived. My phone buzzed, vibrating across the desk like a pulse. I opened it with trembling fingers, and my stomach sank. The words weren't general this time, they were intimate, immediate, and impossible. You left your coffee on the counter. It will spill next Thursday, right before it happens. You can't avoid it. I froze, heart hammering. The predictions weren't abstract anymore, they were happening. And the worst part, this wasn't just a random account. There were rules, patterns, things hidden beneath the surface of the notifications, and I had already stepped too far into them. My phone buzzed again later that night, a low vibration that made my teeth clench. I stared at the screen as if it were a venomous creature, dreading what it might say. And there it was, the second DM, more precise than the first, like someone, or something, had been watching every movement I'd made since the first message. You brushed your teeth at exactly 11:42 p.m. You will be in the bathroom next Thursday at 11:43. Don't ignore this. I laughed nervously, a short, bitter sound. This can't be real, I whispered, pacing my apartment, avoiding mirrors, counting the minutes as if that could somehow protect me. My hands shook as I reread the message, hoping, somehow, that it would disappear, that it would be a mistake. But it wasn't. The ordinary noises of my apartment, the hum of the refrigerator, the distant sirens outside, the soft tapping of keys, suddenly felt menacing. Every routine action I took, every glance at my phone, made my heart pound harder. I felt trapped in my own life, as though a shadow had stitched itself into my daily patterns. Even texting my friends felt dangerous. Every letter I typed made me wonder if the DM could see it, if my paranoia had somehow become a window for whatever was behind this. I knew I couldn't ignore it. People online had, and the stories ended badly. The thought gnawed at me. If I didn't act, if I treated it like a joke or a glitch, I might become another cautionary tale whispered on obscure forums. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone in hand, debating extreme measures, leaving my apartment, turning off my phone completely, even considering calling someone I trusted to intervene. But the decision felt like stepping into a trap, each option more dangerous than the last. And as I stared at the screen, the message seemed to pulse with a cruel certainty. I couldn't escape, not yet. I woke up the next morning determined, desperate, to break whatever pattern the DMs were trying to force me into. The moment my eyes opened, I changed everything. I brushed my teeth at a different time, rearranged my furniture, even shoved my desk to the opposite side of the room so the familiar angles and shadows would look wrong to whatever was watching. I avoided my bathroom completely, pacing my apartment as if unpredictability could somehow save me. But the messages didn't care. When I tried blocking the account again, Twitter froze. Not crashed, froze, like the app itself was holding its breath. The screen flickered, then reset, and a new notification appeared even though I'd turned them off. Another DM. Another impossible line of text. Patterns do not break just because you want them to. My stomach tightened. I shut off my phone, tossed it on the couch, and grabbed my old laptop from under the bed, the one I hadn't used in months and never logged into social media on. When I opened it, relief washed over me for a moment, until a notification slid across the corner of the screen. A Twitter DM. Same account. Same blank profile image, if you could even call it that. A shadowy, distorted silhouette like someone standing too close to a flickering light. I slammed the laptop shut. Panic clawed up my throat. I spent hours offline, not scrolling, not checking anything, not touching a screen. I convinced myself that staying disconnected was the answer. I even unplugged my TV and covered its black, reflective surface with a blanket, as if the DM might crawl through the glass. But later, when I went to make coffee, my smart speaker lit up on its own. A soft blue glow. Then a robotic voice read the DM aloud in a monotone that made my skin crawl. You will spill your coffee next Thursday. You cannot escape what is already written. I staggered backward, knocking over the mug before I'd even poured anything. And that's when the stories I'd half laughed at before, the online legends about cursed accounts, predictive horrors, digital omens, came flooding back. The ones where people tried to fight the messages. The ones that always ended the same way. Sudden silence, unexplained disappearances, accounts deactivated without warning. Maybe this wasn't a hacker. Maybe it wasn't even human. That was the moment I realized the truth. This DM didn't predict the future. It said it. And whatever it was, it had already started. I spent the next few days obsessively searching for answers, diving into forums, old Reddit threads, and dark corners of the internet I had always avoided. I read every story about cursed accounts, predictive DMs, and unexplained disappearances. I thought I understood the rules, the patterns, the why behind it all. But this felt different. This wasn't just a story recycled 100 times. This was alive, malicious, watching. The more I tried to trace the account, the stranger it became. IP addresses led nowhere. Screenshots I took appeared corrupted, the text warping into symbols I couldn't read. Every attempt to escape or rationalize made the messages escalate, becoming almost sentient. I realized then that the DM wasn't predicting my death, it was orchestrating it, bending my routines, forcing me into a path I couldn't divert from. I stared at my devices, my mind unraveling. Ordinary notifications, the ones I had ignored 1,000 times, now felt like whispers of fate. The hum of the Wi-Fi, the glow of my laptop, the subtle vibration of my phone, all became instruments of some digital entity I could not understand. Every corner of my online world had been turned against me. And then it hit me. I wasn't alone. Others had received these messages before me. I had dismissed their warnings, brushed them off as folklore. But the accounts didn't care. They waited. They chose. And now I understood. If you think you're safe online, if you think no one is watching, you're already part of the pattern. A chill ran down my spine as I reread the latest DM, the words pulsing on the screen with cruel inevitability. It is closer than you think. You can see it, but you cannot escape. Every instinct screamed to run, to disconnect, to leave the city, to burn every device I owned. But I knew it was too late. The rules weren't mine to break, and whatever had reached through the network had already begun shaping reality. The moment of confrontation was coming, whether I was ready or not, and I felt the weight of inevitability pressing down on me like the darkness in every horror story I had once laughed at. Thursday arrived like any other day, deceptively ordinary. I went through my morning routine with deliberate caution, hyper-aware of every movement, every sound. The apartment felt like a trap, the air thick with anticipation. My coffee sat untouched on the counter, my laptop covered, phone silenced. I thought if I could just act differently, the DM's prediction might fail. And then it happened. A sudden vibration shook the counter. My coffee tipped, spilling across the surface despite my hands never touching it. I froze, heart hammering. The mug clattered to the floor, shattering. The sound echoed like a gunshot in my chest. A whisper of cold air grazed my neck. I spun around, but the apartment was empty. My rational mind screamed that it was coincidence, that I had imagined the cold. But the voice came again, faint but unmistakable. You can't escape. I stumbled backward, knocking my chair over, heart racing. Every device in the room flickered, screens lighting up, lights dimming, shadows crawling along the walls like living things. My laptop opened by itself, displaying a blank chat window with a cursor blinking steadily. The same DM reappeared, now with a final line. Look behind you. I dared a glance. Nothing. Just my apartment, still in the harsh glare of morning light. But then, a movement, subtle and slow, a shadow stretching from the corner of the room, disconnected from anything that should cast it. My breath caught, chest tight. My rational mind shattered entirely as I realized the entity wasn't bound by the screen. It had found a way in, an impossible bridge from digital to physical. And then the whisper again, right next to my ear, not yet. But soon. I bolted from the apartment, leaving everything behind, my heart hammering, the sound of my own footsteps mingling with faint, impossible clicks, like 1,000 notifications following me. I didn't stop. I couldn't. Even as I reached the street, sunlight pouring over the city, I knew it wasn't over. The DM hadn't ended. The prediction had partially unfolded. Yes, but the danger remained, lingering, patient, waiting for the next move I didn't yet know I would make. I moved out of that apartment the next day, taking only what I could carry and leaving the rest behind. Friends asked why I looked so shaken, but I just shrugged, smiling a little too tightly. Life tried to resume its normal rhythm, morning coffees, scrolling through feeds, jokes and memes, but I couldn't fully let go. Every notification made my chest tighten. Every ping felt like a warning. I still check my notifications, just in case. The DM never appeared again, at least not on my devices, but I know it's out there. Somewhere, it waits, patient and relentless, ready to slip into someone else's life, to orchestrate its next prediction. I've read forums claiming these accounts are nothing more than glitches or urban legends. I believed that once, too. But now I know better. There are corners of the internet we're not meant to explore, patterns we're not meant to notice, and messages we're not meant to open. And for those who do stumble upon them, the line between ordinary life and horror isn't just thin, it's gone. I can only hope I escaped. Or maybe I didn't. And tonight, I think it's coming for someone else. I can't stop thinking about the accounts I ignored, the DMs I laughed off, the threads I scrolled past in the dead of night. Maybe one of you reading this will see it next, blinking innocently in your inbox. Maybe it's already watching, waiting for you to click. I don't know who it will choose, or when, but I do know this. Curiosity is dangerous, and some messages are never meant to be read. Be careful. You might already be part of the pattern.